Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and 9 other Democrats are under heavy scrutiny for voting on that new measure. Democrats trying to move forward by organizing town halls and Republican strongholds across the country. For instance, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They're on the move. Next week, they're heading to Nevada, Arizona, and Colorado to speak with working class families. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz kicked off his nationwide blitz in Iowa. Joining me now to discuss is New York Democratic Congressman George Latimer. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us today. A pleasure to have you on the program.
Nice to be with you, Laura. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so these town halls is one of the first plans that we're seeing Democrats launch since the election. So many people are wondering right now, should they focus more on their own constituents instead of going across the country? Or is this a good move? How do you see it?
Well, I think anytime you're talking to people, everyday people, you're doing the right thing. I come home every weekend from Washington. Now, I live 250 miles away, so it's easier for me than others. But the bottom line is, whether you have a town hall meeting or you have other kinds of informal gatherings, there's a lot of divergent opinion out there, Laura, and you have to listen to it. Now, to the extent that there are areas of the country that Democrats do not represent, I don't think it's a bad thing for a Democratic voice to go in and listen and to try to understand how people feel all across the country, whether we represent that state or that district.
Yeah, I see your point. And, you know, some people would say, look, you know, these lawmakers are up in Washington and they're not talking to the people. So sometimes you can't win, right, when some people criticize if you don't get out there. But as we're seeing more Democrats mobilizing, like California Governor Gavin Newsom hosting a podcast, and Illinois Governor Pritzker moving to host events in the coming weeks, I don't know. Do you think we're looking at a 2028 shadow primary? How do you see that?
Well, look, I think, anybody who has aspirations for 2028 is going to be out on the hustings and doing what they have to do. That's really not unusual. We now have almost 4-year campaigns, which, as crazy as it is what it is. But, from my standpoint, I have a district that's southern half of Westchester, a little piece of the Bronx. That's where I am. And I think most members of the House are doing that. When we're home, we're in a variety of places to talk to people. If the guys who are running for president are out there, too, and we're listening and we act off of what we hear, then that's a worthwhile effort.
You know, amid the government shutdown aversion, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer now at odds with his fellow Democrats, showing this split party on how to take on Trump. So is there a long game here? And if so, what can you tell us about it?
Well, first of all, the long game goes well beyond this particular situation. If we're talking about how are we going to respond to the initiatives, there are going to be hundreds of more initiatives coming out of the Trump administration. His speech last night at the DOJ talks about, in essence, his weaponizing the Department of Justice to go after the people that he sees as his enemies, the scum, I think he called them, and so forth. So there's going to be many more battles ahead of us beyond the one that we've just had. I think it's important, and I'm going to try to do this myself in my district, for me and the people in my party to offer a positive vision to people and to be able to say, this is what we stand for. This is what we would do if we have power. Not just say the other guys are bad or the other guys are doing evil things. I don't like some of the things that are happening, but you must remember, I governed Westchester County before I came to this seat in the House for 7 years. And I had to show people that I knew what I wanted to do with power when I got it. And I think that's what's really our challenge in the next couple of years.
I'm curious, were you surprised with Schumer's move?
I didn't expect it, but, there's a lot of things that have happened in my first 11 weeks in Congress that I didn't expect. So you have to stay flexible. The House Democrats were united in opposition, but it wasn't that we wanted a shutdown. We wanted a bipartisan dialogue to try to shape this continuing resolution. And we got no dance partner on the other side of the aisle. And when you talk about the divergence of Democratic opinions, it was just 2 years ago that it took the Republicans 15 ballots to settle on a speaker. So unity and disunity is built into the system. Right now, Donald Trump, Elon Musk have both political and financial power, and some of the checks and balances of government are broken down, and they do exactly what they're told. On the Democratic side, we have many independent voices. I ran a primary last year as a Democrat against a squad Democrat because I thought the things that I had to say were important for my district. So if it's disunity, it's also considered democracy, that different voices are heard.
Is there a rift, though, between House Dems and House Senate members?
I don't think it's structural at this stage of the game. There's an issue that some Senate Democrats felt differently about, and there may have been some House Democrats as well. Keep in mind, the majority of the Senate Democrats took the same position that the majority of the House Democrats did. There's some Senate Democrats took a different position.
All right. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries is also silent on his confidence in Schumer. This is something that we've been taking a look at. Let's take a listen.
Have you lost confidence in him, the fact that you guys see this so differently?
Next question.
Is it time for new leadership in the Senate?
Next question.
Next question. Next question. Do you think there should be a new leadership in the House, or I'm sorry, in the Senate? Do you think that there should be?
No, I don't think we're at that point. What I do think is that, I'm a football fan. I root for the New York Jets. They disappoint me year after year, but I don't give up on them. And I take that disappointment, and then we try to root for something better to happen the next time around. And I think that's where we're at now.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.